Good morning. Welcome to the Sunday service at the Yeowon Dharma Center and Temple. So today is the first Sunday in February. Already a month has passed since we started 2025. So when we begin a new year, we often set intentions, right? But how quickly we fall back into our old habits, leaving our well-considered plans buried in a drawer. Does that sound familiar with you? A little bit? Yes? No? No? That's impressive. But if you do, let today be a time to revisit our hopes and dreams in this new year. And this Dharma gathering will help you gain a new perspective and renew your spirit. So our gathering will begin with making full bows to our Buddha up here, Yeowon Sang Buddha. So please all rise in front of your mat. Join your palms together. Join your minds and hearts together. We'll make standing bows today. This circle image represents the truth of the ultimate universe, the truth of the ultimate reality in the universe. And with our minds and hearts together, we bow in gratitude to the grace of heaven and earth, honoring the infinite beneficence of nature and the universe. We bow in gratitude to the grace of parents, honoring the beneficence from parents, ancestors, and all those who have had a nurturing role in our lives. We bow in gratitude to the grace of fellow beings, recognizing the truth of interconnectedness. We bow in gratitude to the grace of laws, which guides us, protects us, and promotes justice. Now let us turn to our neighbor Buddhas and we'll greet each other with our smiles. Please remain in standing. Now Karen will guide us with a yoga practice.
Good morning. So let's just become relaxed in our bodies, soft behind the knees. Feet are hip distance apart. So we're just going to begin with a little bit of standing or seated cat-cow. You can do it either way. So we're going to inhale and arch the back, lift the chest, maybe not look any higher than where the wall meets the ceiling, depending on how your neck feels. And then on the exhale, we're going to fold forward slightly, rounding the back, lifting the back body up towards the sky. And then inhale, slide the hands back up again, roll the shoulders back, relax the neck and shoulders. Exhale, rounding forward again. Don't worry about how far you go. One more round. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. Lift the heart, press the hips forward, and exhale, round. Rounding, rounding, rounding. Beautiful. Come back up to neutral. Put your hands on your hips, please. Set the feet a little bit wider. We're just going to circle at the hip joint. Circle around, nice big circles. Just paying attention to where you feel sensation in your body. Come around the other way. Circle in the other direction. Beautiful. Now step the feet hip distance apart again. Softness at the knees. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Hold of the right wrist with the left hand. Now step the feet wide. And then side bend towards the windows. Pull gently against that arm. Keep both feet planted into the earth. Be careful with your socks on. It could get a little slippery. Inhale, come back up again. Step back. Release. Inhale one more time. This time grab the other wrist. Step the feet nice and wide. And we're going to bend the other way. Breathing into the side body. Inhale, come back up, release, step the feet back. Modified sun salute, soft knees. So let's get nice and soft and deep in the knees. Hands together in front of the heart center. We're just going to go halfway here through the sun salute. So inhale, drop down a little bit. Keep inhaling, reach all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. Visualize yourself gathering the sun's energy in your hands and get down into your heart. One more time, drop down, reach up. This time we're going to fold towards the knees, bring your hands to your knees, bend deeply into your knees. And then inhale, push into the floor as you reach all the way up again, all the way up. And glide the hands down the center line. Take again, dropping into your knees. Inhale, push away from the floor, reach all the way up, all the way up. Exhale, swan dive, hands to knees. Bending into the knees. Now from here, we're going to fold forward, lift the tailbone, not trying to push the knees back. If you'd like, maybe the hands come down, totally up to you. And then find your feet again, grind them into the earth. And inhale, reach all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. And exhale down the center line. Bend into your knees nice and deeply. Now let's go ahead and step the feet together and the knees together. So bending into your knees, we're going to see if we can turn or twist towards the windows. Bring the right elbow to the left knee. Breathe. Come back to center. And we'll try twisting the other way. Come back to center. Push into the earth and come back up. Relax the arms, separate the feet nice and wide. So toes pointing forward. We're going to bend into the left knee and bring our torso over so we can interlace the fingers and press down on that knee. Beautiful. And you can bring that right foot up if you like. Totally up to you, but it's a little slippery. So you might want to keep it down. And breathe, coming down as much as you possibly can. Big stretch on the inside of that leg. Then once again, find the earth, push up. Coming to the other side. Either keep the left foot on the floor or come up to the heel. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Or hands on the floor is fine. We'll do one more on each side. So come back. Other side. Keep breathing. Come back up. And last one. Oh. Coming back up to center. Put the feet a little wider than the hips. We're going to drop the tailbone down.
Now take your time to just adjust your body on your mat or in your chair. As needed, wiggle your body side to side, back and forth. As your body becomes ready, you may close your eyes and breathe. Today, Pete will give us the method of seated meditation accompanied with Ellen's flute.
The method of sitting meditation is simple and easy. Sit comfortably on the floor or in a chair. Breathe in, grab all your tension, and breathe it out. Open up your chest and heart. Stretch up tall and align your spine from your neck to your tailbone. Relax your shoulders and arms. Allow your hands to rest on your knees. Bring your attention to your breath. As you exhale, release all mental and physical tension. Invite your attention to abide in your chi energy field, which is called Tanjan. This is located about 2 inches below your navel and is the power center for your breathing. Open your eyes and gaze downward over the end of your nose into the floor. Keep your mouth closed and allow the tip of your tongue to rest gently against the roof of your mouth. When your mind is concentrated and calm, pure and clear saliva may gather in the mouth. You may swallow it. Relax your facial muscles and notice your gentle smile. If your face or body begins to itch, do not scratch. This is just a sign of the energy circulating in your body. Simply note the itching and let it pass. If your legs ache unbearably, you may change position very slowly and quietly so that you maintain a calm stillness and do not interrupt others. When thoughts arise in your mind, do not be discouraged or disturbed by them. Simply focus on your breathing without reacting to or playing with those thoughts. Recognize them as thoughts. They will disappear by themselves. And remember, keep bringing your awareness back to your Tanjan breathing center. If you continue practicing meditation for a long period of time, you will rest in the realm of samadhi, deep meditation in which the mind is calm, concentrated, perfectly focused and at peace, with no distinction between self and others, time and place. We are grateful to sit quietly together, finding the still point within. May we be here now, aware of our ever calm and alert spirit.
When it comes to meditation, there are many forms. Now please join us in Sutra Chanting Meditation, page 4. Page 4, 일원상भाव. Wisdom of Samadhi beyond words and speech, the gateway of birth and death, transcending being and non-being, origin of heaven and earth, parents, fellow beings, lost the true nature of all Buddhas, enlightened master, enlightened people, and sentient beings. Yeowon manifests as both permanence and impermanence, fused as permanent. Yeowon unfolds into an infinite world, ever abiding, spontaneous, just as it is fused as impermanent. Yeowon unfolds into infinite world through the cycle of formation, duration, decay, and extinction of universe, and the birth, aging, illness, and death of all beings, according to how we use our minds and bodies. In the four forms of birth, we transform through 6 forms of existence, progressing or regressing, from harm or harm from grace. Therefore we unawakened beings vow to practice wholeheartedly, modeling ourselves after Yeowon's Hangdo Dharma Kaya Buddha, by cultivating our minds and bodies deep, knowing human affairs and universal principles thorough, using our minds and bodies skillfully, thus progressing rather than regressing, and receiving grace rather than harm, until attain the great empowerment of Yeowon and become one with nature of Yeowon. Heart Sutra. The Bodhisattva of great compassion, when deeply practicing Prajnaparamita, realized that all 5 aggregates are empty, and thus became free from suffering and distress. Shariputra, all the differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from is emptiness. Emptiness is from the same, true of sensations, perceptions, impulses, consciousness. So Shariputra, all dharmas are empty, they do not appear or disappear. Pure do not increase or decrease in emptiness. No form, no sensations, no perceptions, impulses, no consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind.
form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no form of eye, ear, nose, tongue. No mind consciousness, no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, no old days and death, no extinction of them, no suffering, no cause of suffering, cessation of suffering, no path, no wisdom, no attainment with nothing to attain. Bodhisattva relies on prajna paramita, therefore the mind has no hindrance without any. No fears exist, free from delusion, one dwells in nirvana. All Buddhas of the past, present, and future rely on prajna paramita and attain supreme light. Therefore know that prajna paramita is the great mantra, is the great enlightening mantra, is the unsurpassed end, which is able to eliminate all suffering. This is true, not false, so proclaim the prajna paramita mantra, which says gone, gone, gone beyond, far beyond, now awaken, gate, gate, paragat, parasamgate, buddhisvaha, gate, gate, paragat, parasamgate, buddhisvaha, gate, gate, paragat, parasamgate, buddhisvaha. Now you may gently wiggle your fingers, your hands, your arms. Let's bring our palms up high and stretch our body upward. And feel free to lean to side and stretch. Bring your hands down. Today, we'll hear Reverend Yeowon's final Dharma talk with us before she begins her new assignments in the One Buddhism Temple in Los Angeles. Her talk is titled The Coordinates of Life, 3 Essential Questions. Please join me in welcoming Reverend Yeowon with your palms together. Good morning.
Good morning. I am Yeowon. Unfortunately, due to my schedule in Korea, I couldn't join you for the Simply Meditation retreat. I hope you all had a meaningful time of practice. With this Dharma service, I'm wrapping up my 2 years at the One Dharma Center, and we'll be moving to Los Angeles Temple. Since the One Dharma Center was my first assignment, I feel that every experience here will stay with me for a long time. I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity to take my first steps here at the One Dharma Center alongside Venerable Juksanim, Venerable Myongtawanim, and all ministers here. Being in a foreign country, I witnessed how the ministers here have quietly and diligently carried out their duties, overcoming many challenges in an unfamiliar environment. For them, I've learned so much about courage, dedication, and sincere devotion. And whenever I had Dharma service here in this beautiful Dharma hall, I felt that despite our differences in religion, race, age, and life experiences, we were all meeting in the same realm of heart and mind. I always remember the warmth and kind you showed me. As I prepare for this final talk with you, I spent a lot of time thinking about what I should share. In the end, I decided to introduce a Dharma discourse that I have carried in my heart for a long time. It is the Coordinates of Life, a teaching by Cardinal Master Daesan, which you also received as a handout. I've always put these Dharma words on my wall. The word bearings could work, but coordinates more precisely captures the meaning. I first encountered this teaching nearly 10 years ago. Since then, I have faced moments in life that felt unbearable, times when I wanted to give up on myself. But each time, this teaching lifted me back up. Now I invite you, close your eyes for a moment and reflect on these questions in your heart. What shall I believe as I live my life? What shall I work for? What shall I return to? And as you look around at the world, ask yourself, what do people believe in? What do they work for? Where do they return? Now open your eyes. But have you ever wondered why Master Daesan used the mathematical concept of coordinates? For me, this expression has always stood out, unfamiliar yet striking. Coordinates are determined by setting a reference point and drawing horizontal and vertical axes to measure distances from the origin. In reality, the world has no inherent coordinates, but we create them, marking distances as so many miles north or south. The same applies to time. Time itself has no inherent coordinates, but when we set the present as a reference point, the past and future come into existence. In other words, coordinates are something we can establish at will. Cardinal Master Daesan wanted us to deeply reflect on where we place our reference point in life. What standard we use to view the world, what we choose to believe in, where we decide to return, and what we dedicate our efforts toward. People place their coordinates in different positions, shaping their perspectives accordingly. Let me share an example. When I was in Korea, I attended a major event where I found the host to be somewhat unpolished and lacking agility. As soon as this thought arose, I caught myself and recalled my own coordinates. My reference point in my life is my vow to dedicate everything to this practice and this work alongside the founding master Sotaesan and my teachers within this great religious order and this religious order that transcends time. The moment I reminded myself of this, an image of my own teacher came to my mind. Listening intently and learning with a sincere heart, regardless of whether the speaker was less skilled or lower in position. And suddenly I was able to see the host's sincerity and effort rather than focusing on his shortcomings. Now, if my reference point had been eloquence and outward proficiency are the most important qualities, then I would have judged everything through the lenses. The host would have fallen short of that standard, and my mind would have continued to discriminate. In this way, we end up seeing entirely different words based on where we place our coordinates. Likewise, if we set truth as our reference point, we see the word differently. And if we place our coordinates in the founding motive of the teaching, the aspiration to lead all sentient beings who are drowning in the turbulent sea of suffering to a vast and immeasurable paradise, we will again perceive the world in a new light. The key questions that help us establish our reference point in life are, what shall I believe as I live my life? What shall I work for? Where shall I return to? If we live without considering these questions, simply reacting to whatever comes our way, our lives will inevitably become one of the aimless wandering. This is why Master Taeshan emphasized the importance of setting a clear life perspective first. Many people place their faith in wealth and honor, work for their families, and return to their homes at the end of the day. While this is an understandable way of living, we need to go a step further and establish a more fundamental reference point, our true coordinates in life. So what are the 6 coordinates that Cardinal Master Taeshan provided as guiding reference points? Can anyone say that? They are truth, teachers, Dharma, the order, the fourfold grace, ourselves. Truth, our teachers, the Dharma, the religious order, our spiritual community, the fourfold grace, and ourselves. Now, due to time constraints, let's focus on just a few of these today. First, let us believe in truth as we live. Let us work for the truth and let us return to the truth. Most people live believing in separate individual existence, seeing differences rather than unity. This is why our world is still filled with war, conflict, and suffering. But instead, we are called to believe in the oneness of truth, the oneness of the world, the unity of humanity as one family, the one word as a single shared workplace. Let us work for this truth and return to it as our ultimate refuge. Second, let us believe in our teachers, work for our teachers, and return to our teachers. My teacher in his youth served Cardinal Master Taeshan with unwavering devotion. He studied diligently in Seoul, Korea, striving to contribute to Won Buddhism. Yet, whenever a school break came, he would drop everything and rush to wherever Master Taeshan was. There, he would immerse himself in the Master's presence, observing his teachings before returning to his work with renewed dedication. He continued this cycle for 30 years. Likewise, no matter how busy we are with our daily lives, no matter how exhausted we feel, if we make it a point to return to our teachers and receive the nourishment of the truth, we will gradually come to resemble them. And as we grow, we will ultimately come to embody the truth itself. Next, let us believe in the religious order, work for the religious order, and return to the religious order. What is the religious order? It is the place where the Dharma is cultivated. It is a community that teaches the Dharma to all people, transforming the world for the better. Most people set their life coordinates around themselves and their families, seeking longevity and happiness for their loved ones. However, we set our coordinates in religious order. By nurturing and strengthening this community, which fosters enlightened beings, we can turn this world into a Buddha's world, spreading warmth and grace everywhere. When the world was engulfed in the devastation of World War, the founding master Sotaesan awakened the truth of Yeowon and established the religious order. His vision was to build a paradise where all sentient beings could coexist in harmony and joy. During my first time at the One Dharma Center, I saw many members here living with that mindset. If our religious order flourishes, I will flourish too. They lived with a collective spirit, prioritizing the well-being of the community. Just as a well-heated temple melts the cold from anyone who enters, a thriving religious order alleviates the suffering of all beings, allowing them to live in a paradise. Finally, let us believe in ourselves, work for ourselves, and return to ourselves. For a long time, this has been my greatest question. Why? Because I spent so many years doubting myself. Since childhood, I lived with one wish, that my family could live comfortably and happily. The problem was that in constantly looking outward, I neglected my mind. Over time, I fell into a habit of self-criticism, berating myself for every perceived shortcomings. I resented myself for not taking better care of my family and often find myself drowning in despair. So when I heard the teaching, believe in yourself, work for yourself, and return to yourself, I couldn't understand it. How can I believe in someone like me? How can I work for myself when I want to escape from who I am? And how can I possibly return to myself when I'd rather run away? What is meant by self here is the self that is united with the other five. Truth, our teachers, the Dharma, the religious order, and the fourfold grace. In other words, within us reside truth, teachers, the Dharma, religious order, and the fourfold grace. Isn't it astonishing? This is why Master Taesan repeatedly taught that the most precious and noble among these six is the self. The term self can also be described as the self-nature. It's not only the Buddha or founding Master Sotaesan who possesses the self-nature. We all have within us. Another way to say this is that we each have Buddha in our self-nature. The Buddha is not exclusive to Shakyamuni Buddha. Our own inherent Buddha is the true Buddha. This Buddha within us is brighter, wiser, and more just than any teacher in this world. And we can wholly listen and learn from this inner Buddha. If we abandon or lose hope in ourselves, and we are essentially forsaking our self-nature. Because of this self, there is truth, our teachers, the Dharma, the religious order, and the fourfold grace. Because of this self, the entire universe collaborates to sustain us. The founding master Sotaesan didn't come to this earth for someone else, but to save you. The self is not a fixed entity. As I mentioned in my previous Dharma talk, all the notions we have about who we are, this is me, are not truly who we are. Because the self is not fixed, it can change infinitely. It holds every possibility. The most precious being in this world, possessing all potential, is the self. Even if the entire world falls apart, there is something within you that remains unmoved. Listening to my words right now, animating your eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. This is a true self, the great self. Not the one tainted by desires, delusions, or attachments. My Dharma friends, this is a promise I make to myself and commitment I wish to share with you as well. Even if everyone in this world gives up on me, I will not give up on myself. Let us engrave this in our hearts and never forget it. We are often quick to abandon ourselves because we see our own shortcomings and flaws so clearly. If others also abandon and criticize us, the easiest thing to discard is our own self. People whom the word criticize may still have the potential to change. But those who give up on themselves, who sink into despair and abandon their own self, cannot change. We must trust in the self, a treasure that contains the Buddha nature, truth, our teachers, the Dharma, the religious order, and the fourfold grace. We must work for ourselves and return to ourselves, our true selves. By regularly asking ourselves with these 3 questions and establishing our 6 coordinates, we will naturally be guided toward the Yeowon Sang, one circle, the ultimate destination and our rightful place to dwell. If we fully believe in these 6 coordinates, we will fully receive their benefits. If we believe only halfway, we receive halfway. And if we do not believe at all, we receive nothing. This is the eternal path to salvation and gratitude. So in this voyage of life, where are you setting your coordinates? What are the reference points guiding your journey? I use this teaching as my compass. Even if I occasionally lose my way, it keeps directing me toward these 6 coordinates. When I find myself disheartened or falling into darkness, the clarity of where I stand and where I need to go prevents me from being consumed by it. Though we may part ways and find ourselves in different places, by setting these coordinates together, we will ultimately meet again in the great realm of Yeowon, the original home of the universe. I'm deeply grateful for all your kindness and support. May you all remain in good health, both in body and mind. And if you come to LA, make sure to visit the LA temple. With this, I conclude my last Dharma talk. Thank you.
Thank you for your talk. Thank you, Reverend Yeowon, to share your Dharma message so passionately. So let us coordinate our life with that message. And over the past 2 years, as she said, her presence has been a blessing in our community, and we know that. So in our gift shops and elsewhere, if you see something pretty, something nice, something nicely polished, that's she did, right? Not only that, each Sunday and Wednesday, she welcomed, you warmly each time you come in to our center. So I believe she'll be missed here, but she'll be also warmly welcomed and embraced in LA Temple community. So once again, give a big applause. And Helen has a word to share with Reverend Yeowon on behalf of all our temple community.
Yesterday, I accepted Reverend Yu's invitation to say a few words regarding the leaving of Yeowon. Good morning, everyone. I would like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to Reverend Yeowon for her 2 years of service to the Won Dharma Center. Reverend Yeowon, your presence here has graced this community with your radiating sense of peace and calm. You have spoken words of wisdom, teaching us how to practice well and be of service to others. I was particularly inspired and in awe when you delivered your Dharma talk entitled True Voidness. All I can say is wow. Words I needed to hear, delivered with wisdom and simplicity. You said that through true voidness, you have the power to transform yourselves, change others, and influence the world. And you said that releasing sensory conditions immediately is a path to true voidness. Your words took root in my heart, and I reflect on them often. Much to your embarrassment, after you gave your talk on true voidness, I said to you, I can envision you one day being the Dharma master of Won Buddhism. I believe I can speak on behalf of the Sangha gathered here that as you leave for your assignment at the Los Angeles Temple, we wish you abundant happiness and extend our heartfelt gratitude for illuminating our path to Buddhahood with your inspiring Dharma words. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. Reverend Yeowon is leaving this coming Wednesday, so she has 2 more days to go. Let's see, we are a little bit short of time, so let's just move on to John's presentation. So John Dalkanti Wonshingun spent 2 weeks in Yongsan, Korea last December actually, to teach English to the pre-ministers there. We have school there. So he is here with his photo presentation to share his experiences there. So here's John.
Thank you. How much time do I have? 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
Okay. So Yeowon could not speak to you unless she needed to know how to speak English, right? So the fact is, all of these teachers not only have to spend years studying the Dharma, but if they're going to minister in English-speaking countries, they have to take some time to learn some English. So the pre-ministers out in Korea have what they call a Dharma camp for over 2 weeks, where they invite outside teachers in to basically do conversational English with them. So last summer, I happened to be asking Reverend Yu when the next trip to Korea was, and he said, "Oh, would you like to go teach English?" And I said, "All right." And I assumed that there would be some type of ESL training or some type of preparation, but there was not. But luckily, there are some other ESL teachers in the congregation out of the North Carolina Temple who kind of gave me some hints. And I didn't need to worry, but I was worrying, kind of a thing. So this was in December 7th, I took a flight out to Korea, and I was sent to, next slide, please. Well, actually, I'm missing a slide. This must be the old version. But anyways, I took a bus from Incheon airport down to Yongsan University, the Seon's. There's more than one Yongsan University, I found out. Long story short, I was sick on the flight, and I ended up being sick for 9 days. But that was just a backdrop. Luckily, I was given some care by the Gyeomanims in Korea, so I got through it. Next slide, please. So these were the 10 students who were in my class, and so I taught 2 groups of 5, 1 hour for 5, and then another hour for 5. And again, my main anxiety here was trying to remember their names. But I got to know them very well, and this was one of the first real privileges for me, was to be able to build relationships with the next generation of Gyeomanims. And so I hope to, and I'm sure I will, see these folks here in one form or another here in the U.S. But these men and women have, many of them passed, many of them served already in the Korean military, and many of them had previous careers. And then they've come to Won Buddhism as kind of their pathway. So they have rich lives that contribute to their teaching, not just so. As we had our conversations, I got to learn about them, and I got to learn about their interests and their skills and their passions, etc. So, next, please. So, this is almost one group of 5, and you could just see their energy and their interest, and they were so supportive and kind to me, you know. Next. Oh, there were lots of cats there at A Young Song. One of the projects I think we should work on is, and I haven't mentioned this to any of the Kyomanim, but we need to take care of those cats over there. So maybe we need to do a little spay and neuter thing going on over there. But this was the main cat that would hang out by the temple here, and I don't remember his name. Next, please. So it snowed a little bit. I was staying in that residence, that brick building to the back. Great room. Once I learned how to turn the hot water on, it was good. Next, please. And there's, the name of that mountain is?
옥녀봉? 옥녀 Peak?
Yes. They, the other Kyomunims were asking me if I was going to go hike up this mountain. And I'm like, I don't know how to get there. Yeah, I could have just done that, but I didn't want to cause more problems, you know, by being lost and, you know, trapped. So anyways, next time we'll go up there. Christmas is a big thing. These were, you know, you recognize Unju, and this is Jun Lee, who is the person who teaches choir at the various universities out there. And those two were my guides, my main guides, bringing me to coffee and enjoying myself, basically. Next. Fantastic coffee shops that look out onto the ocean there. It's really beautiful. Next, please. Another coffee shop. And then we visited the retreat center, and Reverend Ginger gave me all these names, and I had them written into the other version of the slides, but I don't remember the name. Next slide, please. So we were there, and I had pictures of also the main Kyomanim who led me there too. But she was great, and next, please. And then we went to the headquarters up in Iksan, and we experienced a Dharma service there, which was very inspiring. Next, please. And they took me out to eat delicious food. And this fish was a big specialty out there. Yeah. So next, please. And this is the headquarters. And of course, they do everything at the headquarters, including having a radio station and print media. And you know, this is my second time there, so it was great to see it.
Just for the record, that's just a tiny bit of headquarters. He's not showing us headquarters, actually.
Okay. Tiny bit. Might be more in the next slide. Yeah, please. Oh, okay. So we visited all the stupas of the founding masters out there, and this was another one of my guides, Jinsu, and then this is one of the pre-ministers who was great. You might have heard him give a Dharma talk here. UPenn grad, economics major. We could talk philosophy on capitalism and Marxism and all that stuff. So, and to the right of him was an American who was teaching English there, and who actually is looking for more folks who want to teach English out there. So if anybody has any interest, please come to me or one of the Kyomanims, and we can connect you with a school out there to teach. Next. More. The gate. And just a word or two about what we actually talked about in class. And so as the students started to tell me, we started off with what is AI and how is AI going to affect Won Buddhism, and they quickly said, stop. It's too complicated a conversation to have when we don't know the language, please. And then we worked our way backward to the end and said, oh, tell me about your family and friends, which is where I should have started, but it turned out that the topics that we talked about actually folded pretty well into the fourfold grace. And so when I later looked through some of the categories of the words that we spoke about, and so, the politics part, what does that fall under in the fourfold grace?
So, laws?
Laws, yeah. And then, of course, family, that was family. And then we talked a lot about climate change and stuff like that. And so that was falling very neatly under, heaven and earth. So I was quite pleased with myself afterwards, and I showed everybody the words, and I said, hey, look, we have 6 categories, but it was almost 4 categories. But anyways, they were very sophisticated. They knew their, next slide. They knew their stuff. And so in the last class, their last assignment was to sing a song in English or a Korean song and change the word to English. And of course, they blew me away. And here is, so this, I mentioned these students had past lives. This particular student, I don't remember his name, but he was going to music school beforehand. And so let's just play a little bit about what they did for this last class, yeah, if it works. Yeah. Oh, we need some volume. Oh, there might be a... Okay. Well, he ends up singing Fly Me to the Moon, Sinatra.
Wow, that's great. So I think we can stop the music now, right? It was great music. You did a great job, John.
Oh, thank you. That's all.
So don't go.
Oh, you want me to close out?
I'll close.
Okay.
So you must have good time there, right? So would you recommend this, 2 week of teaching experience in Korea?
Oh, yes. You'll have to get in line, though. There are a lot of people who are interested. But yeah.
Thank you. So if you stick long enough with us, you'll be asked someday, would you like to go to Korea? Thank you, John. Thank you so much. Let us open our booklet. Page 6. Essential Dharmas of Daily Practice. 1. The mind is originally free from disturbance, but disturbances arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore. 2. Three.
4. Let us replace disbelief, greed, laziness, and ignorance with belief, zeal, questioning, and dedication. 5. Let us turn resentment into gratitude. 6. Let us turn dependency into self-reliance. 7. Let us turn reluctance to learn into willingness to learn well. 8. Let us turn reluctance to teach into willingness to teach well. 9. Now I'd like to introduce a new assigned Kyomunim to our center to you. So, like a revolving door, our temple sees a continuous flow of people coming and going. So now we have one loss, one gain, kind of. Please join me in welcoming Reverend Jinsu.
Hello everyone, I'm Jinsu and I prepare very short and dry introduction. I arrived here a week ago and I worked at the headquarters of Won Buddhism in Iksan in Korea for 14 years and was assigned to the headquarters of Won Buddhism USA. And I'm looking forward to practicing and working here together. And that's all I prepare. Thank you.
We hope to hear and listen to our Dharma talk someday soon. Just for a little just a little TMI. She and I shared a room when we went to school together. So I look forward to playing with her and then practicing with her here together. Thank you. Upcoming retreat. We have upcoming retreat, which is Young People's Retreat, scheduled in March 14 to 16th. And this is a wonderful opportunity for young people aged between 19 to 35. So please find more information in our flyers in the lobby. So Reverend Yeowon is leaving on Wednesday. So does Ginger. I'm visiting Korea to check in my parents there and my teachers as well. And I'll return here, my home, in the middle of March. So during my absence, I hope you support our Kyomunims. Do you know what is the best way to support our community and Kyomunims? Do you know which way? It is through your ongoing practice with us here on Sunday and Wednesday. So I hope to see you next Sunday and go on. And as we end our service, I'd like to ask you to dedicate today's practice and service for Reverend Dogon, who's scheduled to get his R1 visa and service in Canada. So you don't know who Reverend Dogon is, right? He's promising Kyomunim who used to work in LA temple. Now he is assigned to the temple in Canada. And why am I saying this? Because whether he's getting his visa or not, it critically determines whether we'll get a new Kyomunim here in our center. So let us just briefly hold our hands together and dedicate our service for Reverend Dogon. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for your prayer. So this concludes our gathering today. See you next week.